Stoicism, an ancient philosophy founded in early 3rd century BC Greece, offers timeless principles that can profoundly impact our modern lives, particularly in managing stress and enhancing life quality. At the heart of Stoicism is the pursuit of serenity through the understanding and practice of virtue, wisdom, and self-control. Here's how some of its core principles can be applied to everyday life. Acceptance of what we cannot control. One of the foundational Stoic principles is the recognition and acceptance of what is within our control and what is not. According to Stoicism, the only things we truly have control over are our own thoughts, feelings, and actions. External events, the behavior of others, and the outcome of situations are beyond our control. By focusing our energy and attention on our own responses and actions, rather than trying to control the uncontrollable, we can significantly reduce stress and anxiety. This acceptance empowers us to respond to life's challenges with a calm and composed mindset. Focus on the present. Stoics emphasize living in the present moment. Concerns about the past and future often lead to stress and unhappiness. By focusing on the present, we can take more effective action, appreciate our current situation, and avoid unnecessary worries about things that are beyond our immediate influence. Virtue as the highest good. Stoicism teaches that living a virtuous life, guided by wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the source of true happiness. By striving to embody these virtues in our daily actions, we can find contentment and build resilience against the vicissitudes of life. This focus on personal ethics and integrity can lead to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Developing an internal locus of control. By recognizing that our own perceptions, judgments, and actions are within our control, Stoicism encourages us to develop an internal locus of control. This psychological concept refers to the belief that we have power over the outcomes of our lives, rather than being at the mercy of external forces. Cultivating an internal locus of control can enhance our self-efficacy, reduce feelings of helplessness, and increase our motivation to take positive actions. Practicing mindfulness and self-reflection. Stoicism encourages regular self-examination and mindfulness. By reflecting on our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we can gain insights into our inner workings, identify areas for improvement, and make conscious choices that align with our values and goals. This practice of self-awareness is crucial for personal growth and emotional resilience. Incorporating Stoic principles into daily life doesn't require drastic changes, but rather a shift in perspective and an intention to live more deliberately. By practicing acceptance, focusing on the present, embracing virtue, developing an internal locus of control, and engaging in mindfulness, we can navigate life's challenges with greater equanimity and find deeper satisfaction in our everyday experiences. The Socratic dialectic, named after the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates, is a method of hypothesis elimination, in that better hypotheses are found by steadily identifying and eliminating those that lead to contradictions. This approach is fundamentally a form of dialogue or debate, where participants ask and answer questions to stimulate critical thinking, illuminate ideas, and reveal underlying beliefs. The application of the Socratic method can significantly deepen understanding of different viewpoints and foster critical thinking. Here's how it works in practice. Encouraging open dialogue. The Socratic dialectic encourages open dialogue, where questions are used as tools to explore the depth of a topic and to challenge assumptions. This process requires active listening, open-mindedness, and a willingness to question one's own beliefs as well as those of others. By engaging in this type of dialogue, participants can gain a more comprehensive understanding of the subject matter from multiple perspectives, identifying contradictions and inconsistencies. A key aspect of the Socratic method is the identification of contradictions and inconsistencies in one's thoughts and arguments. Through a series of probing questions, Socrates aimed to show that many commonly held beliefs were in fact confused or contradictory. This process helps individuals to critically assess the coherence and consistency of their own and others' viewpoints, leading to clearer and more robust understanding. Encouraging self-reflection. The Socratic method is deeply rooted in self-reflection. By challenging individuals to answer difficult questions about their beliefs and values, it prompts introspection and self-examination. This reflective process can lead to personal growth and a more nuanced understanding of one's own standpoint, as well as the standpoints of others. Developing critical thinking skills. Engaging with the Socratic dialectic develops critical thinking skills by requiring participants to analyze concepts, question assumptions, and articulate reasons for their beliefs. This form of inquiry pushes individuals to think more deeply and logically about the issues at hand, improving their ability to construct and deconstruct arguments effectively. Fostering a love for wisdom. At its core, the Socratic method is an expression of the love for wisdom, philosophy. It embodies the belief that the pursuit of knowledge and truth is a collaborative process, where questions and dialogue play a crucial role in achieving understanding. By practicing the Socratic dialectic, individuals not only advance their own knowledge, but also contribute to the collective pursuit of wisdom. The Socratic method remains relevant today, not just in philosophical discussions, but in education, counseling, and any context where critical thinking, understanding, and the exploration of ideas are valued. Its emphasis on questioning, dialogue, and the collaborative pursuit of truth has enduring value for developing deeper insights into various viewpoints and enhancing critical thinking skills. Aristotle's ethics, particularly his concept of the golden mean, is centered on the pursuit of balance and moderation as a path to happiness and well-being. Unlike other philosophical doctrines that may advocate for the denial of physical or emotional desires, Aristotle's approach is more about finding the right measure in everything. Here's how the search for balance and moderation in all aspects of life can lead to happiness and well-being, according to Aristotle. The nature of virtue for Aristotle. Virtues are traits of character that lie at a mean between two vices, one of excess and one of deficiency. For example, courage is a virtue that lies between the vices of rashness, excess, and cowardice, deficiency. This golden mean is not a strict middle ground, but is relative to us, determined by the right amount that is neither too much nor too little. Rationality and the role of reason. Aristotle posits that reason should govern our actions and emotions. Happiness, eudaimonia, according to him, is achieved by living a life in accordance with reason and virtue. This means making choices that reflect a balanced approach to life's challenges, avoiding extremes, and acting in a way that is harmonious with our true nature as rational beings. Individual differences. The golden mean is not a one-size-fits-all rule. It varies from person to person. What constitutes a mean for one individual might be excess or deficiency for another. Aristotle acknowledges the complexity of human nature and the importance of personal judgment in navigating the ethical landscape. This emphasizes the role of personal responsibility in ethical decision-making and the pursuit of a virtuous life. The importance of habituation. Aristotle underscores the importance of habituation in achieving virtue. Virtues are developed through practice and repetition, much like skills. By consistently choosing actions that reflect a balanced approach, individuals can cultivate virtuous habits that lead to a flourishing life. This process of habituation helps individuals internalize the golden mean, making virtuous actions more instinctive over time. The holistic view of well-being. Aristotle's concept of happiness is not merely the experience of pleasure, but entails a fulfilling and flourishing life. This includes not only personal virtue, but also active engagement in a community, meaningful work, and healthy relationships. The pursuit of the golden mean extends beyond individual actions to the broader context of one's life, encompassing social and civic responsibilities. Practical wisdom, phronesis. Practical wisdom is the ability to make the right decisions about how to act virtuously. It involves not just knowing what the golden mean is, but also how to apply it in varied and complex life situations. This capacity for judgment is crucial for navigating the ethical dimensions of everyday life and for the pursuit of happiness. In essence, Aristotle's ethics and his concept of the golden mean offer a compelling vision of human flourishing. By advocating for balance, moderation, and the cultivation of virtue through reason and habit, Aristotle provides a framework for achieving a life of fulfillment and well-being. This approach resonates with contemporary pursuits of happiness, suggesting that a balanced and virtuous life remains a timeless path to genuine contentment. Plato, one of the most influential figures in Western philosophy, introduced a dualistic view of reality that distinguishes sharply between the world of ideas, or forms, and the physical world. This distinction is foundational to his philosophy, influencing his views on knowledge, truth, and human existence. Here's an exploration of Plato's ideas about reality and knowledge and their application to understanding truth and misconceptions. The world of forms. Plato posited that beyond our physical world lies a transcendent realm of forms, or ideas, which are perfect, immutable, and eternal prototypes of all things that exist in the physical world. According to Plato, the forms are the true reality, whereas the physical world is just a shadowy and imperfect representation of this higher reality. For example, the form of beauty itself is perfect and unchanging, whereas physical objects considered beautiful are merely participating in or imitating this ideal form. The physical world. The physical world, in Plato's view, is the world of change, becoming, and decay, perceptible through the senses. It is a world where things come into existence, change, and eventually pass away. Because it is in a constant state of flux, Plato argued that true knowledge, which is stable and unchanging, cannot be attained through sensory experience. Instead, knowledge can only be gained by contemplating the eternal forms, knowledge and truth. For Plato, knowledge is a matter of understanding the eternal forms and their relations to one another. Since the forms represent the essence of all things, true knowledge involves grasping these essences. This form of knowledge is contrasted with opinion or belief, doxa, which is based on sensory experience and is thus unreliable and subject to change. The allegory of the cave. Plato's allegory of the cave, presented in The Republic, is a vivid illustration of his views on reality, knowledge, and enlightenment. In this allegory, prisoners in a cave believe that shadows cast on a wall from objects behind them are the real objects. The allegory suggests that most people are like these prisoners, mistaking sensory experiences for reality. Enlightenment comes from turning away from the shadows, the sensory world, to the light, the world of forms, and ultimately, understanding the forms themselves. Application to understanding, truth, and misconceptions. Plato's distinction between the world of forms and the physical world offers a framework for understanding truth as something that transcends sensory experience. It suggests that our perceptions can mislead us, as they are merely shadows or reflections of a more profound reality. In contemporary terms, this could be interpreted as an encouragement to look beyond appearances and to question our assumptions and beliefs critically. Moreover, Plato's theory underscores the importance of reason and intellectual inquiry in the pursuit of truth. Just as the prisoner in the allegory of the cave must turn away from the shadows to see the light, individuals must use reason to move beyond the deceptive appearances of the physical world to grasp the truths represented by the forms. In a modern context, Plato's ideas remind us of the limitations of empirical evidence and the sensory world in providing complete knowledge. They encourage a deeper reflection on the principles and values that underlie our understanding of the world, suggesting that truth, in its most profound sense, is accessed through philosophical inquiry and the cultivation of the intellect. While Plato's metaphysical dualism may not align with all contemporary views of reality, his emphasis on the existence of immutable truths and the role of reason in accessing these truths continues to influence philosophical thought on knowledge, reality, and the pursuit of wisdom. Existentialism is a philosophical movement that emphasizes individual freedom, choice, and responsibility. It emerged in the 20th century, addressing the complexities of human existence and the inherent angst that comes from living in a world without predetermined meaning. Existentialist thinkers argue that individuals are free to shape their own lives, and that with this freedom comes the weighty responsibility of choice. This perspective underscores the significance of personal decisions, highlighting the role they play in defining the essence of our being, autonomy and individuality. Existentialism posits that individuals are not bound by predetermined essence, rules, or values. Instead, each person is free to define their own essence through their actions and choices. This autonomy places the individual at the center of their own universe, as the architect of their destiny. The existentialist view champions individuality and the unique path each person carves out in the world. The burden of freedom. With the freedom to choose comes the burden of responsibility. Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre famously declared that existence precedes essence, suggesting that we first exist and then define ourselves through our choices and actions. This freedom is daunting because it means that individuals must take full responsibility for their choices without blaming society, deities, or fate. Every decision reflects on the individual's values and contributes to the creation of their essence. The anxiety of choice. The existentialist narrative acknowledges the anxiety and existential dread that often accompany the realization of one's freedom. This angst stems from understanding the sheer magnitude of our freedom and the inevitable consequences of our choices. However, this anxiety is also seen as a catalyst for authentic living. By confronting the angst associated with freedom and choice, individuals can live more deliberately and authentically. Authenticity and inauthenticity. Existentialism emphasizes the importance of living authentically, which means making choices that are true to oneself rather than conforming to external pressures or societal expectations. Inauthenticity occurs when individuals deny their freedom and responsibility, choosing instead to live according to roles and norms prescribed by society. Authentic living requires a conscious engagement with one's freedom and a commitment to personal responsibility. The ethics of existentialism. While existentialism places supreme value on individual freedom, it also posits an implicit ethical framework. The very act of making choices in light of our freedom implies an ethical dimension, as our choices affect not only ourselves, but also others. Sartre and other existentialists argue that in choosing for ourselves, we are, in a sense, choosing for all of humanity, suggesting that our actions should reflect the kind of world we wish to create. In summary, existentialism profoundly celebrates the power of personal choice and the freedom to shape our own lives. It challenges individuals to confront the reality of their freedom, to bear the weight of their choices responsibly, and to live authentically in a world devoid of inherent meaning. Through this lens, every decision becomes a testament to our values and an act of creation that defines who we are.